Okay, good morning. February 5th, Exodus 21:22 through 23:13. If men fight and hurt a woman with a child, so that she gives birth prematurely, yet no harm follows, he shall surely be punished according to the woman's husband, according as the woman's husband imposes on him, and he shall pay as the judges determine. But if any harm follows, then you shall give life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burn for burn, wound for wound, stripe for stripe. If a man strikes the eye of his male or female servant and destroys it, he shall let him go free for the sake of his eye. If he knocks out a tooth of the male or female servant, he shall let him go free for the sake of the tooth. If an ox gores a man or a woman to death, then the ox shall surely be stoned, and its flesh shall not be eaten. But if the owner of the ox, but the owner of the ox shall be acquitted. But if the ox tended to thrust with its horn in times past, and it has been made known to to its owner, then he has not kept it confined, so that it killed a man or a woman, the ox shall be stoned, and the owner shall also be put to death. If if there is an imposed on him a sum of money, then he shall pay to redeem his life, whatever is imposed on him, whether it has gored a son or gored a daughter, according to the judgment it shall be done to him. If the ox gores a male or female servant, he shall give their master 30 shekels of silver, and the ox shall be stoned. And if a man opens a pit, or if a man digs a pit and does not cover it, and an ox or a donkey falls in it, the owner of the pit shall make it good. He shall give money to their owner, but the dead animal shall be his. If a man's ox hurts another's so that it dies, then he shall sell the live ox and divide the money from it, and the dead ox shall be, they shall also divide. Or if it was known that the ox tended to thrust in times past, and its owner had not kept it confined, he shall surely pay ox for ox, and the dead animal shall be his own. If a man steals an ox or a sheep and slaughters it or sells it, he shall restore 5 ox for an ox, and 4 sheep for a sheep. If a thief is found breaking in, and he is struck so that he dies, there shall be no guilt for his bloodshed. If the sun rises on him, there shall be guilt for his bloodshed. He should make full restitution. If he has nothing, then he shall be sold for his theft. If the theft is certainly found alive, if the theft is certainly found alive in his hand, whether it is an ox or a donkey, it shall be restored double. If a man causes a field or a vineyard to be grazed, and lets loose his animals and feeds on another man's field, he shall make restitution from the best of his own field and the best of his own vineyard. If fire breaks out and catches in thorns, so that standing grain or fields consumed, he who kindled the fire shall surely be make restitution. If a man delivers to his neighbor money or articles to keep, and it is stolen out of the man's house, if the thief is found, he shall pay double. If the thief is not found, the master of the house shall be brought out to the judges to see whether he has put his hand into his neighbor's goods. For if for any kind of trespass, whether it concerns an ox or a donkey, sheep or clothing, or any other kind of lost thing which another claims to be his, the cause of both parties shall come before the judges, and whoever the judges could condemn shall pay double to his neighbor. If a man delivers to his neighbor a donkey, an ox, a sheep, or any animal to keep, and it dies, is hurt, or driven away, no one seeing it, then an oath of the Lord shall be between them both, and he shall not put his hand into his neighbor's goods. And if the owner of it shall accept that, then he shall not make it good. But if in fact it is stolen from him, he shall make restitution to the owner of it. If it is torn to pieces by a beast, then he shall bring it as evidence, and he shall not make good what was torn. And if a man borrows anything from his neighbor and it becomes injured or dies, the owner of it the owner of it not being with it, he shall surely make it good. If the owner was with it, he shall not make it good. If it was hired, it came from its hire. If a man entices a virgin who is not betrothed and lies with her, he shall surely pay the bride price for her to be his wife. If the father utterly refuses to give her to him, he shall pay money according to the bride price of virgins. You shall not permit a sorceress to live. Whoever lies with an animal shall surely be put to death. He who sacrifices any god except to the Lord only, he shall be utterly destroyed. You shall not mistreat a stranger or oppress him, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. You shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child. If you afflict them in any way and cry out to me at all, I will surely hear their cry, and my wrath will come hot, and I will kill you with the sword. Your wives shall be your widows, and your children fatherless. If you lend money to any of my people who are poor among you, you shall not be like the moneylender to him. You shall not charge him interest. If you ever take your neighbor's garment as a pledge, you shall return it to him before the sun goes down, for that is his only covering. It is a garment of his skin. What will he sleep in? And what will be that when he cries out to me and I hear, for I am gracious? You shall not revile God nor curse a ruler of your people. You shall not delay to offer the first of your ripe produce or your juices. The firstborn of your sons you shall give to me. Likewise, you shall do with the oxen and your sheep. It shall be with its mother 7 days, and on the eighth day you shall give it to me. And you shall be holy men to me. You shall not eat meat torn by beasts in the field. You shall throw it to the dogs. You shall not circulate a false report. Do not put your hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness. You shall not follow a crowd to do evil, nor shall you testify in a dispute so as to turn aside after many pervert justice. You shall not show partiality to a poor man in a dispute. If you meet your enemy's ox or his donkey going astray, you shall surely bring it back to him. If you see the donkey of one who hates you lying under its burden, you shall and you refrain from helping it, you shall sure you and you would refrain from helping it, you shall surely help him with it. You shall not pervert judgment of your poor in a dispute. Keep yourself far from a false matter. Do not kill the innocent and righteous, for I will justify the wicked. For I will not justify the wicked. And you shall take no bribe, for a bribe binds the discerning and perverts the words of the righteous. Also, you shall not oppress the stranger, for you know the heart of the stranger, because you were strangers in the land of Egypt. 6 years shall you sow your land and gather its produce. But in the seventh year you shall let it rest and lie fallow, that the poor of your people may eat, and what they leave the beasts of the fields may eat. In like manner you shall do in your vineyard and your olive grove. 6 days you shall do your work, and on the seventh day you shall rest, that your ox and your donkey may rest, and the son of your female servant and the stranger may be refreshed. And in all that I have said to you, be circumspect that and make no mention of the name of other gods, nor let it be heard from your mouth. Well, there's a lot of laws, a lot of rules in there. Of course, what stood out to me was the animal control laws. If you have an animal that does something bad in the past, and then and then it kills somebody, that person would be put to death. It's kind of, kind of seems kind of harsh. One of the other things that I think that I hit, and I heard this from somebody else, and I never thought of it. Because I go, well, how can God be a God of love when um, when when it's so hard? An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. What about forgiving? And um, God put that in because He is loving, and this makes total sense. Well, an eye for an eye or tooth for a tooth. So when somebody does something and they would knock out, let's say they knocked out your eye, um, and an eye for an eye. So you take out the other person's eye. Well, people naturally want to say, "You took out my eye. I'm going to take out both your eyes and break your nose." Because that's our human nature. Where God limited the justice. We're not going to keep escalating it. It's equal, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, which is more loving when it comes to our human nature. So I found that. I always thought that was really interesting. All right, Matthew 24, 1 through 28. Then Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came up to show him the buildings of the temple. And Jesus said to them, "Do you see all these things? Assuredly, I say to you, not one stone shall be left upon another, that it shall be thrown down." Which Jesus prophesied, and 70 years after his resurrection, that's exactly what happened. Now he sat on the Mount of Olives, and the disciples came to him privately, saying, "Tell us, when will these things be? And what will be the sign of your coming at the end of the age?" And Jesus answered and said to them, "Take heed that no one deceives you, for many will come in my name, saying, 'I am the Christ,' and will deceive many. And you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there will be famines, pestilence, and earthquakes in various places, and all these are the beginning of sorrows. Then they will deliver you up to tribulation and kill you, and you will be hated by all nations for my name's sake. And then many will be offended, will be betrayed one, and will betray one another, and will hate one another. Then many false prophets will rise up and deceive many. And because of lawlessness will abound, the love of many will grow cold. But he who endures to the end shall be saved. And the gospel of the kingdom will be preached in all the world as a witness to all the nations, and then the end will come. Therefore, when you see the abomination of desolation spoken by Daniel the prophet standing in the holy place, whoever reads this, let him understand. Then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. Let them who are in the housetop not go down and take anything out of the house, and let him who is in the field not go back and get his clothes. But woe to those who are pregnant and those who are nursing babies in those days. And pray that your flight may not be in winter or on the Sabbath, for there will be great tribulation, such as not been since the beginning of the world until the time, nor shall ever be. And unless those days were shortened, no flesh would be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days will be shortened. Then if anyone says to you, 'Look, here's the Christ,' or 'There,' do not believe it, for false Christs and false prophets will rise and show great signs and wonders, and to deceive, if possible, even the elect. See, I have told you beforehand. Therefore, if they say to you, 'Look, here he is in the desert,' do not go out and look. He is in the inner rooms. Do not believe it. For as lightning comes from the east and flashes into the west, so also will the coming of the Son of Man be. For whoever, for wherever the carcass is, there the eagles will be gathered together." Psalms 29, 1 through 11. Give unto the Lord, O you mighty ones. Give unto the Lord glory and strength. Give unto the Lord the glory due to his name. Worship the Lord in beauty and of holiness. The voice of the Lord is over all the waters. The glory of the God, the God of glory thunders. The Lord is over many waters. The voice of the Lord is powerful. The voice of the Lord is full of majesty. The voice of the Lord breaks the cedars. Yes, the Lord splinters the cedars of Lebanon. He makes them like skip. He makes them also skip like a calf. Lebanon and Syrian like a young wild ox. The voice of the Lord divides the flames of fire. The voice of the Lord shakes the wilderness. The Lord shakes the wilderness of Kadesh. The voice of the Lord makes the deer give birth. The stripes of the forest bare. He's down, I'm sorry, and strips the forest bare. And his temple, everyone says glory. The Lord sat enthroned at the flood, and the Lord sits as king forever. The Lord will give strength to his people. The Lord will bless his people with peace. Proverbs 7, 6 through 23. For at the window of my house I looked through the lattice, and I saw among the simple. I perceived the youths, a young man devoid of understanding, passing along the street near her, which is the immoral woman's corner. And he took the path to her house in the twilight, in the evening, in the black and the dark night. And there a woman met him, with the attire of a harlot and a crafty heart. She was loud and rebellious. Her feet would not stay home. At times she was outside, at times in the open square, lurking at every corner. So she caught him and kissed him. With an impudent face, she said to him, I have peace offerings with me. Today I have paid my vows. So I came out to meet you diligently to seek your face. And I have found you. I have spread my bed with tapestry, colored coverings of Egyptian linen. I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let us take our fill of love until morning. Let us delight ourselves with love. For my husband is not at home. He has gone on a long journey. He has taken a bag of money with him, and will come home on the appointed day. With her enticing speech, she caused him to yield. With her flattering lips, she seduced him. Immediately he went after her as an ox goes to the slaughter, as a fool to the correction of the stocks, till an arrow struck his liver. As a bird hastens to a snare, he did not know it would cost his life. All right. See you all tomorrow.